vicious racist, with its governor having his lips dripping with the words of interposition and nullification. But I have a dream
today. Racism by Solomon and Dion.
In New York City, 88% of police stops in 2018 involved Black and Latino people, while 10% involved white people.
And how do you feel about racism?
I think it's a pretty negative thing overall, and I don't really support it.
Do you still see racism today?
Yeah, definitely not as much as like a while back, like 1940s, around that era.
Have you and your family ever experienced racism?
Yeah, I can guarantee you my grandma, my auntie, they have, because they were born in the earlier times. And I have too, just not nearly as bad as they did.
What do you think are some solutions to racism?
Understanding that we all bleed the same, we act the same, we were all created equal, and we're not superior to you and you're not superior to us.
On average, Black men in the U.S. receive sentences that are 19.1% longer than those of white men convicted for the same crime.
How do you feel about racism?
I feel like racism is a pretty bad thing because it's been around for a couple hundred years, and like it's 2022 and we can't really do anything about it.
Why do you think people are racist?
Because they just want to joke around, and since their friends do, I guess they want to do it too.
What are some solutions to racism?
There's not really any solutions to racism because it's something that it's like really serious and it's something that we can't stop.
Have you ever experienced racism, and what happened?
I've experienced racism a couple times, and I've been called a racial slur sometimes, but like my friends, but never from like a random person.
Okay. Who are we here with today?
John Cumber.
All right, thank you for letting me interview you. And first question is, how do you feel about racism?
I personally despise racism. I think it's something that doesn't belong in today's society or world and hampers our efforts to get better as human beings, and wish it wasn't around.
Why do you think racism is still a big thing today?
My personal opinion is because it's still something that is taught. I mean, you have cultures and societies that still believe in certain ways and stick to them, and a lot of people are afraid of change, and they're afraid of what they don't know, and instead of reaching out and trying to explore those options and see what different cultures are about, or societies, or whatever it is, people just tend to stick to themselves, and therefore it still thrives, unfortunately.
Okay, have you ever experienced racism?
I have on many levels, especially coming from a biracial family and background.
Being in a mixed family, was it ever like hard for you, or was it like easy and happy?
There was a few hard times, but the beauty of that is I didn't personally grow up with racism, obviously from a mixed family, and being biracial, I mean, we had two different cultures from my mother and my father, so I got to experience those, and I never looked at things differently. You know, to me, because I am biracial, it was never a factor for me to look at other people and go, oh, I don't like them because they're this way, that way, whatever, because I was mixed myself. So it was more of a blessing to me than anything.
Was it hard for your family? Has there ever been a situation where your family has experienced racism?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, my parents were, obviously older, but their time frame was a lot different. My dad had to go through the segregation period, which he was the African American in my family, and my mother was from a all-white family that disapproved of their relationship. So not only did they battle the family's differences, but society at the same time. It did trickle down over time. For us as kids and my siblings, we definitely, like I said, never taught that, and thank God got through that.
What do you think are some solutions to racism?
Communication is the biggest one. Like I said before, people fear what they don't know. And so just because somebody looks different or acts different or has a different culture, a different religion, we tend to just go, oh, I don't like that because I don't know it. And instead of either getting to know a person or getting to know a situation or whatever that the case may be, we don't communicate about it. We shut down and just go, I don't like it, and leave it at that. But unfortunately, people could learn a lot more if they did learn how to communicate in various ways and take an interest of why things are different or why you don't know why these people do this or that. So,
Okay. Thank you for letting me interview you.
absolutely.
How do you feel about racism?
I honestly feel that it's probably the worst pandemic going on and has been going on for quite a while.
Why do you think people are racist?
I think people are racist because of bad programming. They're not self-aware.
What are some solutions to racism?
Communication. I think if a lot of people can break that barrier of fear, of not knowing, of being afraid of what they don't know, I think it can open up a lot of opportunities. Once again, self-awareness. A lot of families pass down negative routines and negative habits. Racism is one of them. So, you know, when you become self-aware, you realize who you are and what you're doing.
Have you ever experienced racism?
Yes, every day. I can remember back when I was a kid all the way up until now, you know, growing up with an African-American father and a Caucasian mother. A lot of times people would be caught off guard when I was with my mom, and I would almost be treated like a stranger because they didn't realize that a lady, a Caucasian lady, you know, was my mother because my skin was, you know, darker. So, you know, a lot of little things like that, all the way up into even being assaulted. And, you know, so racism is, it's a serious thing. It's out there and it happens every single day.